Do I recommend Ozempic? Yes. I think I felt really nervous, and I still feel really nervous about making this video. I know a lot of people are gonna have different opinions on it, but this is just about my experience, the weight that I've lost, the lifestyle changes that I've made, and I hope that it's helpful if you are considering Ozempic or Mounjaro. This is not a video to tell anyone to do this. This is just sharing my experience in case you are considering it and you want to know some basic information. A lot of people are on these medications and they don't talk about it. They're not honest about taking them. I wanted to be honest because I do know of quite a few people that take Ozempic or Mounjaro and they lie about taking it, which I think is worse and more so feeding into making people feel bad about their bodies. Like if you are doing something to lose weight but you lie about how you're doing it, it just feels, I don't know, it just feels wrong. If you're anti-Ozempic and Mounjaro and all of that good stuff, then this video is probably not going to make you very happy. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to like tell people to do this and that it's completely risk-free and healthy. I'm sure it is not risk-free. It is a risk that I have been willing to take and that has, in my opinion, paid off for me so far. Who knows? I could drop dead in like a month. I don't know. All that to say, I'm not a medical health professional. If you are interested in taking weight loss medication, please see a doctor. Talk to them about it. My doctor is aware that I take tirzepatide, which is Mounjaro. And yeah, so let's get into it. Don't hate me, I guess. I don't know, or do, whatever. So obviously I need to include some before and after pictures. I don't know why. Well, I do know why I've been dreading this. I think there's a natural inclination to feel embarrassed sharing a version of myself that I really didn't like and that I wasn't happy about at the time. But it's a huge part of the story. So here's my before. So some basic information. I am 30 years old, I'm 5'3", and I weigh 120 pounds. I'm currently within the healthy BMI range, and a year ago I was 155 pounds and I was considered overweight. When I chose to start taking Ozempic, I was in a really bad mental place. I did not feel good about myself. I wish that I could say that the way I look does not impact my mental health, but it does. And, you know, I think that is a topic for therapy, and I'm not really here to discuss that on this video, but I was not happy. I didn't feel like I looked good. It made me feel bad. And I also just like wasn't motivated to make major lifestyle changes and diet changes and all of that because I felt just like burnt out from years and years and years of like constantly battling with myself and my eating habits and my cravings. And I had fluctuated so many times throughout my life, throughout my 20s, that I was just exhausted and I felt like I could never maintain a healthy weight. Like it just would never happen for me. When I made that decision to start the medication, it was truly because it was important to be able to get my eating under control and to just, you know, no longer have to be so deluged with constant thoughts about food, like just food noise. And I did have like a binge eating problem where I was always binging when I was bored or sad, which was like all the time. I really wanted to fix that. And when I learned more about Ozempic, it seemed like a good opportunity for me. My mom had been taking it because my mom is pre-diabetic, so she was taking this medication and you know, it has helped her tremendously. My mom had like a sugar addiction, so she, oh my God, it was just like out of control. So it really helped her, and it gave me some confidence in talking to my doctor about it. At the time, and it might still be the case now, I'm not sure, but at the time, doctors were really not prescribing the brand Ozempic or like Mounjaro for people because it was really low in supply, and so they were really trying to save all of that stock for people that are diabetic or people that wanted to lose like 100 pounds or more. So my doctor did not prescribe it for me. Did some research online to get a prescription from online consultation and through a compounding pharmacy. A compounding pharmacy is a pharmacy that will make basically like the generic of Ozempic, which is semaglutide, and they will make the semaglutide for people because when there is a shortage of the brand medication, they are authorized to be able to make the compounded version. So I started taking Ozempic a year ago. I got it through this company called Try Eden, and I started at the lowest dose, and every month they will increase it until you are at a comfortable dose for your goals. So the main milestones for me were about 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months. At 3 months, I had lost the first 10 pounds. But the main thing I think was that my appetite was completely in control and just felt normal. For people that don't struggle with like binge eating or overeating, I feel like maybe it doesn't make as much sense, but having that baseline is something that I never had. And at 3 months, I definitely noticed that I had that. It was obviously part of the main reason why I lost 10 pounds. At 3 months though, I had still not really like changed my lifestyle dramatically. So I wasn't really working out that consistently. I was doing cardio, but not super regimented or anything. I did feel like, although I was losing weight, I didn't feel toned or anything like that. When I looked a little bit more into it, I realized that I should really be strength training to make sure that I'm not just losing overall mass. Like I don't want to lose muscle, I just wanted to lose fat. So I started strength training about 3 months in. So between 3 and 6 months, I was going to the gym probably 4 to 5 times a week and weightlifting. And that's when I lost, I want to say like the next 15, maybe next 10 pounds. So we're at 20 pounds down. But I was seeing the major change to my body in that time period. I was looking more toned. I felt stronger. I felt more fit. And the weight that I was losing, I felt more confident was truly fat and not muscle. Also around this time is when I started taking it more seriously to start cooking more and eating healthier. I was already eating a lot less than I had been, but I wasn't necessarily eating whole foods and being really healthy about what I was eating. 6 months in, that's when I started making those changes, and I'm still working through that and trying to be very consistent with eating healthy foods. So between 6 and 9 months is when I lost the last of the weight. I became extremely toned. I felt very defined. I feel so much healthier and just happier. For the last 3 months, so between 9 and 12 months, I have maintained the same weight. So I feel like currently I am at my healthy ideal weight. I am not trying to lose additional weight. I am just trying to maintain this weight. So the main things that I've noticed throughout the year are really the appetite control, just not feeling like I need to be eating all of the time. Also, it helped with overeating. I no longer overeat. In fact, it makes you feel a lot fuller quicker, so you do realize when you're actually satiated and you don't need to keep eating. I also feel like it has changed my relationship with food itself. I don't look at it as like an activity the way that I was looking at it before. I used to look at it as like, oh, I'm bored, I don't need to go do something. I wasn't even going out and doing fun things. Instead, I was kind of like, oh, I'm bored, let me just eat something. I think there's obviously a time and place for when food is the activity, but I was making it the activity all of the time. That was a huge game changer for me, being able to think about food completely differently, enjoy going out to restaurants and eating with friends because it's a fun activity, but I'm not taking that activity home with me and eating like complete junk food. I don't even know if this is making sense, but I wasn't even eating like fun things when I was binge eating. I was just eating crap. It wasn't even like good bad food. It wasn't like I was going to a restaurant and having a whole experience. I was not doing that. Or I used to not even want to go out to a restaurant. I wanted to stay home and eat a shit ton of food in my house because I knew that I would feel like crap afterwards and I'd want to go from the table to the bed. So those were the key benefits that I've had from taking Ozempic. Things to note: getting compounded Ozempic or Mounjaro is not cheap. If you are not a candidate to get the brand medication from a doctor, you will probably be paying for it out of pocket, which is what I do. I pay around $350 a month, and I know that that is not cheap. For me, the way I justify it is I look at it as a health investment and I budget it accordingly. It's the same to me as paying for my gym membership and my groceries. Everybody has different priorities. For me, I have prioritized this in my budget. The other aspect is I'm sure it is not risk-free. This is a relatively new medication for weight loss. It was already being used for diabetes, but for weight loss specifically, there isn't as much research and data yet about the long-term health effects. I am aware of that and I take that risk consciously. I mean, I don't know, I could drop dead tomorrow, I don't know, but the trade-off has been something that I've been willing to make. That has been my experience with taking Ozempic, and I have recommended it to people in my life. I don't think it's for everybody, obviously, but I've had such a positive experience with taking this medication. Because there's so much deception around whether or not people are taking it, I felt like I wanted to share. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.